All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It's Sunday morning. Football season's in full effect. Second week of the London game. People are going to watch football all day from when they first get up in the morning until they go to bed. It's an American tradition. I just imagine if, like, the same amount of people who are so dedicated to pro football and watching college football as well, just watching football, if they were as dedicated each weekend to getting out and trying to improve the circumstances in their community, what would happen in this world? If everybody wasn't distracted by the great circus game, the theater, and everybody was out, stopping whatever the latest tragedy. I mean, there's just so many things that should be stopped in our communities that we just march along with. Mandates, you got to close your business, you now got to do this, you got to give up this, you got to pay this. We just march along to the tune of all this stuff all across, I guess all across the world. People are doing this all over the world, really, just bowing down to authority and being distracted by sports games and the sports game pacifying them. I know that so many, when I think of the American male, I think of somebody who doesn't exactly like the system that they live in, but, the entertainment, it keeps them going. Another week of sports games, fantasy sports, whatever else, girls, all that. The entertainment keeps them going. And anyway, in this world of entertainment and trying to wake people up and meeting people where they're at, in a world where money talks, the subject becomes, is it bad to use the knowledge that we promote in this community to take advantage of gambling? And again, there's a lot of people who've changed their lifestyle and don't have a slave job anymore, who now either teach Patreon and give out sports picks and win on their own picks. There's a whole bunch of stories, but a lot of people have changed their lives from making money off of rigged games to just breaking out of the matrix, period, and not being caught up and wasting their whole weekend, being emotionally tied to these games, giving up all their energy with these predetermined outcomes. And just imagine all the Packers fans right now, how hurt they are. Kayla Decode Talker, she brings it up often. She used to be a huge Packers fan. And she used to be so emotionally tied to when the Packers won and lost. And now that she sees it's rigged, it doesn't bother her at all. It just makes her laugh. So we know who Kayla Decode Talker is. She could be very sad this morning with the Packers losing early. It could ruin her whole day, as I'm sure it's doing to so many young ladies in the world today. But instead, she's laughing about it. And I'm sure she had the same idea I did about the Giants beating the Packers today, because all the typical numbers we talk about week in and week out are there. Again, if you guys don't follow my sports information, how many times have you heard me talk about New York and 39, how 39 is the New York number? Today, the Packers got their 39th all-time loss in week 5, and New York equals 39. In sports, I talk about how Green Bay equals 41 a lot. So many rituals with 41 in Green Bay. We saw at the beginning of the year, there was a reason to think the Giants could start the year 4-1, and they've done it. And not only did they start the year 4-1 by beating Green Bay, they got their 41st win all-time in week 5. And again, Gematria is based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Rodgers got his 78th career loss today. New York equals 78. New York won the first ever London series game exactly 780 weeks ago. The Harry Potter actor is a big fan of the Giants. Shout out to the person who called in with this information. I got this thing about Harry Potter from one of the callers yesterday that was just solidified what we were looking at. But Harry Potter, the actor who plays Harry Potter, he's a Giants fan. You can look this up, Daniel Radcliffe. And from his birthday to today's game was 78 days later. And his Giants win, giving Rodgers his 78th career loss, as the Packers get the 39th all-time loss in week 5. And then did you see when the game was put away with 1:11 left on the clock? New York equals 111 with the alphabetic order, 78 with the reverse. In the most pure cipher, alphabetic order and numerology, New York 39, just like Green Bay 41. Those are the winning numbers in sports. But again, is it wrong to be aware of this and win off this? Is that wrong? Is that an actual, in Christian terminology, a sin? Is that something God or Creator does not want us to do? Does Creator have a problem with us trying to better our position by taking advantage of a rigged system? Maybe the answer to that question is yes. I don't know definitively the answer to that question. I wish I did know definitively the answer, because then that's how I would act. But you have to discern these things. What is happening in your life since you become aware of this knowledge? Again, all things are good and bad. Sometimes waking up's painful, but I mean, has it saved you from the matrix of fear propaganda on the news? Has it saved you from all the wasted energy in sports games and all the money you pour into that for tickets? And again, a lot of sports fans have saved a lot of money because they're not paying for the NFL ticket and going to 4 home games out of the year and paying for all the parking and everything that comes with it. You know, I mean, you guys, if you look at how sick it is, how much they charge for the experience, how much money is involved in it. Again, I do get that. I get where the phrase "money is the root of all evil" comes from. So, but again, it's a double-edged sword. If you're in a world and we're in a world where we're born into a system that is evil, that is truly rigged against us. It's meant to keep a ruling class in power, and they have all their levers to do it. The idea of what our government supposedly is, that the authority's legit, that we're the freest nation ever was, all the stuff that we learn in our 13 years of slave school, pledging to the 13 stripes. That 41 number we were just talking about, that's the 13th prime. USA equals 41, 13 colonies, 13 stripes. NFL has the Gematria 13, go figure. But anyway, we get this rigged deck against us, and again, to me, there's a reason they tell us knowledge is power. When you have power, you can better your position in life. And I'm looking for a street. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for a street and trying to talk at the same time. Sometimes makes things a little bit challenging, but my eyes aren't what they used to be. Is this the right one? This is the right one. But yeah, again, knowledge is power, and power allows you to improve your position in life, and being able to take advantage of the rigged system, you know, and it's not really like the people who take advantage of the rigged system, like the politicians who know what legislation is going to come, that's going to fees this kind of investment. That's like that's an evil way of cheating, you know. If you were in a casino or gambling with your friends and you had some way to cheat, you had a card up your sleeve, that's evil. But taking advantage of a rigged system, is that evil? Again, I don't think everything's black and white, but I do look forward to people's comments who say that gambling is evil and why. And don't just tell me because it's some teaching in a book. Tell me how you've actually seen. I mean, gambling can ruin people's lives. That's the evil side of it. And I imagine that's why it's taught, because most people who do gamble, again, it's not healthy for them. It's a life of pain and suffering. And I always teach people in my community, be modest, never bet more than you can afford to lose. Learn how to structure bets that are just like, so you're not stressed out. You only wagered $5 for all of your Sunday, but you put yourself in position to make $50 to $100 off a $5 bet. For all of you guys who love to just go out and buy lotto tickets and all this, that is just, I hate to tell you guys, but I know you can win like 50,000, 100,000. I know someone who ran, well, my neighbor's girlfriend won several 100,000, so it was like through a person. But that's the most I ever, in my own immediate circle, heard about anybody winning in the lottery. But these lotteries where it's $1 billion, several hundred million, again, you guys, they call that one the idiot tax. They're just siphoning your money. I'm pretty sure the people you see on the screen with the checks are actors. Again, the game is rigged, you guys. So there's an argument to be made. Gambling is an evil thing because it causes more harm to most people. But again, there's a lot of people in this community who've listened to what I said, took my advice, been responsible, and just continued to build and improve their life. And, you know, somebody might argue, well, you're not supposed to improve yourself, you know, in wealth, in finance in this life, because this whole world is of evil. There's elements of truth, but it's like, God, it's like, where's the point where we need people to improve their position and free themselves from their slave job, and then have the time to help wake up more people to what's going on to change the world? I mean, ultimately, that is always my goal. Help more people get more time to invest more. And, you know, you look at some of the people who've traveled to come out and pound payment, they're the people who have won with sports. And now they have more free time and have extra money to come out and pound payment and show thanks for a weekend. So, yeah, I do not know what the answer is to the question of this video, but people will attack me all the time and say, Zach's teaching. Yeah, okay, that happened with the Hebrew Israelites in Buffalo. If you guys missed that, so 2 times on camera, if you watch all the Buffalo coverage, one of the breakthroughs with the Hebrew Israelites was one of them got a text message from his brother who's not a Hebrew Israelite, and he said, I'm watching a YouTube guy's channel right now, and you're on it. You need to give that guy some respect. He's helped me win $75,000. And his brother was like, man, that's crazy. You helped him win that much. I knew he was doing better, but it's you. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I came here because of the top shooting. This is what I teach. This is what your brother watches, how they do shootings like this and sync it up with the sports season. That's how we had Buffalo winning opening night. Again, that's how we had the Queen dying this year at 96. All this stuff from following this, maybe you don't have to gamble it on it at the end of the day. Maybe that is the mistake and it shouldn't be done. But again, it's from following this and being motivated to figure out more of this with the point of waking people up and helping people that's allowed. Sorry, the camera froze for a second. Gave me the battery warning. But again, it's following all these narratives that's allowed us to get this far. And it's been the motivation of helping wake people up, helping people improve their position financially. So, yeah, I do look forward to the feedback. I got to my latest destination. Got to run a few more errands this morning. Still the home moving thing. And, but yeah, I think also people should be less quick to judge, especially for all the Christians. I mean, that is one of the teachings. You're not to judge. That's God's realm. And it makes sense, right? Because people judge people without understanding everything about them. And, again, you got to have the full picture to understand. You got to be able to put yourself in somebody's shoes, and a lot of times it's hard to do if you don't know anything about that person. So anyway, I just get tired of all the people attacking and just saying, "Oh, you're doing this to." It's like my whole point for all of this is to change the world, because I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick of everything from the rigged sports games to the rigged election to the rigged news to all the other rituals that are manipulating people that got their minds sucked in. I mean, you have to put yourself in my shoes. Remember, in 2013, I just decided I don't care anymore, man. I don't care what any of my friends think, family think. I don't care anymore. I'm going full time at this because these people are the Walking Dead. They're a bunch of blind zombies just marching to their demise. I can't believe all the stuff that we're just going along with. It was bad before we got to 2020. It's just a lot worse now. And that's what I knew it would be if people kept marching. And they are still marching. But I feel like maybe a little bit less people are marching. We do a few more things like we did in New York for the weekend of 9/11. Maybe a lot less people will be marching. That's still the goal. But how are we going to get a lot more people to New York? How many people left a comment that I would have liked to be there, Zach, but I don't have any money? Man, maybe if you'd gotten into a few of these $5 parlays, I don't want to turn you into a gambling junkie, but maybe had you gotten to making some of these parlays. There's people who've turned a $5 bill into several $1,000s on parlays with this knowledge. I mean, these things were rarely ever happening in the world before this Gematria community came along. And again, there's people who've learned from me, and I think they've taken it to an even higher level. We had Roderick from Atlanta call in yesterday, and you know, he's elevated his whole life. He's got a bunch of people learning from him now. He was hinting yesterday, like, Zach, I'll always give you my respect, but you know, man, he was saying he's taking it to a new level. I got to tune in and learn about the new teachings. And again, is that evil that Rod is no longer having to work slave jobs and now he makes a living, you know, taking advantage of the sports book? I look forward to your guys' feedback. And yes, this hoodie is, again, people will always start stuff. This lanyard, sweet lady, she went to Washington State. She also went to University of Washington. But yes, this is the Jesuit logo. People are like, oh, Zach's wearing the Jesuit logo. This is the Jesuit logo with Chris Cornell's face. I've had this hoodie since 2017, about a month and a half after Chris Cornell died. Again, I wear it all the time. I like Chris Cornell. I like exposing this knowledge. I got to put this symbol in people's faces. Somebody made this for me. Almost all the clothes I wear, you guys, were sent to me in my P.O. box or to my house for the people who I gave my address. But, you know, a gentleman made this after Chris Cornell's death, hinting at who he was confident was behind the killing. And again, I've always talked about the Jesuits and the Masons. So, yeah, just stop with all the stupid speculation, too. I used to have a book behind me that said Jewish Wisdom in Numbers, and people said that meant I was a Jewish shill. That book was sent to me by a Christian woman whose name was Rachel. She was one of the first people really dedicated to my channel. I don't even think she hangs around anymore because, like I said, she's a dedicated Christian. I've ranted against Christianity a lot, just because I can't stand religion and I can't stand judgmental Christians who don't know anything about their own spiritual teachings, which I know more about because I was also raised a Christian. I just decided that there was more to it than this religion thing, and this religion thing was part of the problem. Just pay attention. There is a creator. There's signs all abound. But Yeah, anyway, please stop judging. Please stop saying things mean this when I've already explained what they actually mean. And again, there's a gentleman in the world who can vouch for everything I said, the guy who made this sweatshirt and sent it to me. And by the way, awesome job on the sweatshirt because I've worn this a ton. I can't tell you how many times this has gone through the wash. I do put it inside out, but the whole thing is still together. So whoever made this, I think it is super symbolic. It's dead on. Don't forget, Chris Cornell's born on the 201st day of the year. Black Hole Sun, his big song with Soundgarden, 201. Coronavirus, the eclipse, Seattle, where Soundgarden was, predictive programming, Event 201, Bill Gates. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now, you guys. I look forward to the feedback. And yeah, I'm still working on my internet solution for the next house. So anyway, we will figure it out. Until next time.